Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're going to be taking a look at Street Dance Girl Fighter Season 1 excerpts from the final episode. This is going to pertain to their round 2 performances. Also, I'm very excited to show this because it is the last time we're going to be seeing some of these groups, and it's also a really great opportunity for us to see where they started to where they finished. And I just really very much enjoyed the entirety of the season. If there is a particular critique that I give or something in my feedback that seems a little bit strange or confusing, good chance it may have to deal with certain context I was addressing from earlier in the episode, because like I said, I've been doing full episode reactions to not just season 1 but season 2 of Street Dance Girl Fighter. So if you are intrigued about my interpersonal thoughts throughout certain dialogues or monologues that take place between members and mentors, you can check it out there. But let's go ahead and check it out.
Front step, cha-cha-cha, back step, cha-cha-cha, side step, front step, back, and history. Oh my God, how times have changed. These girls must be blind or completely deranged. But time seemed to halt when I was Miss Baltimore. Amber, that movie's far too dirty.
Mother, wake up from that dream of yours. This isn't 1930.
Strikes 4.
This is cute.
Kids crash through that door, yeah. Throw off the coats and leave the squares behind them, and they shake it, shake it, shake it like they're losing their mind. I'm gonna see them frown 'cause they're the nicest kids in town. Roll call. Brad.
Tammy.
Fender.
Brenda.
And I'm like. So rebellion that you're shaking as you lie in bed.
Pony, pony,
Shake it, baby.
pony, pony.
And the bass and drums are pounding in your head.
Pony, pony.
Nicest kids in town. They're the nicest. They're the nicest.
It is fun to see Hairspray represented. My overall note though is this is an example of a musical where having numbers is what's going to make it feel more full. And I think that's the biggest thing that we've noticed here is it doesn't have a sense of fullness at all, because you have this huge choir in the back where they're like this ensemble, not choir, this ensemble singing, but only 5 people. It does feel a bit empty, right? The beginning didn't feel quite as empty, but once we got into that roll call, Courtney Collins show theme, it is meant to have a large group about it, and so that's why it did fall a bit flat in that regard. And I wonder if that may be a factor into how it is scored. It may not score that well, honestly. It's probably going to score potentially around floor, maybe a little lower. I don't know.
Cha-cha-cha, side step, front step.
So I like how they're creating this this story of not being coordinated, which I find fun.
Oh my God, how times have changed. These girls must be blind or completely deranged.
But even this whole
time-
opener, it is nice that they're setting up a tone or a story. Do I feel like it was necessary to do this segment of Hairspray? Not quite, because the majority, it just felt like we were establishing some sense of a story, but we didn't really do a follow through on it that much at all. And it really just ate up a lot of their time on just acting and having these accents of movement. But in the finals, this kind of stuff can really work against you because we don't have a lot of complexity.
Mother, wake up
A lot
from
of the
that dream of
acting,
yours. This isn't 1930.
a lot of the acting is not is isolated too. Like your features are by themselves, so you don't have a lot of anything. We don't have anything framing it effectively either. So even here with just it does give that Surf's Up vibe. I think I've always felt that way about this song, but we know it's not quite that. It is fun, it's joyful, I enjoy it, but notice even in how they're swinging their dresses, it could be because of the length of them. They're not hitting the same range, so we're not having a sense of cleanliness about how they're doing it. Even when having our gentlemen or the ones playing the gentlemen, we don't we're not quite hitting it in the sense of stoicness or presence either. They're not properly framing what the ladies are doing. Also, I do find it interesting that we were interpreting a female vocal with a male character, right? Normally it would be one of the females that would interpret the female vocal because of the premise of the story. So I just don't feel like it was connecting to Hairspray at all. I know paying homage to Hairspray, but because we really are missing a lot of the fullness of what honestly Brand New Child would have been able to do it, because of just their sheer number. Like, having numbers really matters in this type of concept for sure. Courtney Collins show has an ensemble for a reason, right? Even there, you have at least a soprano, an alto, a tenor, a baritone, but you have at least 2 of each represented. So that's, you're giving you about around 8 people should be typically represented here. And we only have 3. I wonder if Ike's being cordial just based on her expression. She's like, interesting. It doesn't look like she's enjoying it as much, but that's just me projecting. Even there, the synchronicity is pretty off for that section. I like the energy there of dropping it down into in a little bit of that locking. I really like that. But even through there, da 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 da. We know they can do complexity. We saw it with Squid, like in that challenge. We saw it. They can really handle it. It looks great on them. This is really fun, but notice that it does feel playful, but it feels like we're sacrificing skill for the sake of carrying a story, but the story isn't that thoroughly thought through either, which is why it feels a bit disappointing. There's a lot left to be desired. Roll call. Why do we have a female interpreting a male voice? It's just not because she already did Baltimore Crabs. She's already demonstrated a voice, and a very specific voice that is a character within the musical. And so I think that's my overall note. And it is really, and that right there, and I'm Link. So you do see that we have, some character differentiation. It's just not consistent. The energy here is really fun, but even then, range is pretty off. Definitely not the cleanest group we've seen today. It does have more complexity in some moments compared to Floor, but I think Floor had more content to work with from the get-go. And even here, you're having their own little moments, but notice not everybody is showing enough varied levels, and some people are getting covered up by others. So there is a lot to be desired, left to be desired for this. That was a great energy moment, but even how they came up from one of my dancer in center, here, she just came up a little bit too early compared to the ones playing her gentleman. This was nice to see. Unison, that was great. Love that energy there. Them getting to do their own thing, which was fun. Nicest kids in. It was great. Honestly, we really tied it together well here. And how they finish, it's cute. Do I think that this was a strong performance? Personally, for finals, I don't believe so. So this one is probably going to score the lowest out of all of the ones in this section. I will be surprised if it scores higher than Floor. And Floor got a 264, so I'm expecting it to be lower than that. And also, of course, I've already mentioned this before, and I do kind of stand by it. I feel that with the previous challenge, I was expecting them to get higher than a 266 because out of all of the choreographies represented for the tracks that were given on the new track performance mission, I do think Cluec had one of the better verses represented, but they were not awarded for that really at all. I think they got third. Which is still in the upper tier, so we can give them that for sure. But I think they're going to score pretty low for this.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to check out any more full episode reactions of the Street Fighter series, I have been doing full episodes to both Season 1 and Season 2 of Street Dance Girl Fighter. I also have a ton of content that tailors to Street Woman Fighter and Street Man Fighter, specifically certain challenges that didn't make their way to YouTube. I have all of that in a nice pretty folder called Block Content, so you can go check it out there. I also analyze a wider range of content, including D-League from Japan, which is the professional dance crew league, as well as many different types of K-pop groups, and I have quite a few marathons that are actively happening right now, as well as finished. So if you're somebody who likes to binge a lot of analysis and content, hopefully I have something that could interest you there. But if you're okay with just seeing what comes out on YouTube every day, I'm totally welcoming of that, and I always appreciate discussions on both sides. Once again, I am Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.